So today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about meetup.com, and I want to talk to you specifically how to make your first meetup or your first event on your meetup very successful. If you don't know what Meetup is, it's this great website that you can use that you can actually join a whole bunch of groups that are interested in different things. So for instance, if you're into biking or you're into art or you're into photography, there's like groups in these meetups that you can join to meet other people that are interested in those same hobbies. This is perfect for people that are kind of like newer in town, or if you're into a new hobby, maybe meeting other people that are interested in that hobby. And it's great for us business owners because we get to network and connect with people that maybe we wouldn't otherwise. So I've been to a few different meetups, and I do it actively so that way I could meet more women and just get more connections and learn new things. And sometimes when I go to the meetup, it can be really scary because you're going to a meetup for the first time, you don't know anybody, you don't know what it's going to be like. And I do notice sometimes there's people that go to the meetups over and over again and then kind of get to know each other. So when you get into a room, sometimes you feel like you're an outcast. So this really sparked me to think about, what if I were to run my own meetup and how would I run it differently? So that's what the subject of this video is about. I run a few different meetups. If you want to become an organizer, you pay a subscription, a monthly one, or I think you can pay yearly, and then you're able to run 3 different groups. So I run a few different groups. I have a women's networking group that I think is very, very, very successful, and then I also just started this new one that's kind of like a social group. It's like for girlfriends and cocktail hour, and I've had so many RSVPs on the events that we have. So that's the reason why I want to talk to you about how to make your meetup successful. So first off, when you're creating a meetup, you want to really think about what's going to make your meetup unique. And then think about in your little description area who you want to be part of the meetup and specifically what goals you're trying to establish with that meetup. So for instance, with our women's networking group, I really thought about the other meetups that were business oriented. So we have other business ones where you go and you just network with other people and you hand out your business cards. Those are fine. And there are other ones where you go and you have a guest speaker and they talk to you about whatever, and they have a different one every month. And those are awesome too. But in order to make mine successful, I had to be different than those meetup groups. So I thought about, what do I enjoy as a business owner and what can I do to make my meetup unique? So what I did was, my meetup is more of a mastermind meetup group, and what I do is every event we ask each person that comes in the meetup to bring one sort of business tip. So we have a specific subject that we talk about, and then we discuss as a group, and then give each other ideas and then learn from each other. So for instance, one month it could be about branding, one month it could be about how to get more referrals, or one month it could be more about how to dress appropriately for business, things like that. Just a way for us to specifically talk about things, and then for us to grow as individuals, but also to learn what other people are doing. Okay. And then of course we kind of combine that with a little bit of food and drinks and stuff like that, because I like to have business meetings with cocktails. That's just me. But moving on, so when you create your group, you want to make sure that it has some sort of unique goal, and then also you have to say, who do you want to come to the group? For instance, for my cocktail and girlfriends group, I asked people that are interested in happy hour, people that are wanting to make new female connections, people that are maybe new in town, or people that just want to have time to have some girl talk. Those are the people that I'm trying to attract, and it really helps because when people see your meetup, they kind of say, yes, I fit in one of those categories, and they will join it. Okay? As soon as you create your meetup group, you really want to, start editing the appearance of the group so that way, it really matches what you feel the meetup group should represent. I think that this says a few things. It says that you're going to be a very active participant in the group, and that you care about, what the group is going to be. And then what you want to do is you want to schedule your first event right away. That way, when they announce the group, when people start joining, they see that you have an event going, they have something to look forward to, and they can RSVP as soon as they join. As soon as people start RSVPing to your meetup, you want to be very active in the comments. I think that is very, very important, because what it's doing is that it's kind of showing them what kind of organizer and what kind of facilitator of the meeting you're going to be. And it really helps create a discussion, get people talking about the meetup, get people excited about the meetup. But most importantly, if you have new members joining the group, it makes new members feel welcome and it really encourages them to come. When you have your event, the day of your event, I really encourage you as the organizer to make sure you greet everybody that comes to the door. One of the most common mistakes I think happens is when people don't get greeted at the door, and then they won't come back to the meeting because they didn't feel very welcomed. So you want to make sure that you welcome every single member, even if you've met them before. And you want to make sure that if you did meet that member before and you might have a new member, make sure you connect those two. Say, hey, this is Sarah. She goes to our meetings all the time. This is Erica. She's new to the group. So this really helps, makes your new members feel really welcome and make them want to come back. So that way your meetups keep growing and keep being better. Of course, you want to make sure that you thank everybody for coming and be a good facilitator. I don't really know how you want to run your individual meeting, but after your meeting, I always make sure I go back into the comments and I say, thank you so much for coming. And I just kind of reiterate a few things that I felt was really great about the meeting. So that way other members that didn't come to the meetup see that there's something to look forward to. Also, try to take behind the scenes pictures, things like that. Those are good things to kind of help people get an idea of how the meeting is going to be, and really makes them excited about the next one. As soon as your first meeting and your first event is done, create another one. Try to create like a couple meetings in advance, so that way people have something to look forward to, and then also people can plan ahead as well. Okay. The other thing that I do is I actually actively go in and mark no-shows, and that for me is just because I want to promote the fact that if you are going to RSVP, I want you to keep true to your word and actually come. I know that a lot of meetups, they don't really care if people flake or not, and that's totally fine. But for me, I really want to promote the fact that if you don't come, then don't RSVP. I really want my members to really be involved in the group, and that if they're commit to something, then definitely come to it. And those are my tips on how to run your first meetup and how to make your meetup successful. Hopefully that helps you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and subscribe to this channel to get more tips and tricks. I will talk to you next time.